All right, so that is what we do not want to hear. That is the sound of two beats that are not aligned. So if you do your beat matching incorrectly, then it's going to sound terrible and it's going to give people headaches and you're just going to sound like a terrible DJ. And although there are a lot of mixes and a lot of functional transitions that you could do without knowing how to beat match, and there's also a feature that can help us if we don't know how to beat match yet, such as sync and other stuff like that. But it's always a good idea to learn how to do it manually. One, for the confidence of knowing that you can manually beat match, and also for if you are booked or you end up DJing on software or equipment that doesn't have these features, you should know how to beat match yourself. So the best way to learn how to do something right is learn how to do something wrong. So I would suggest have two songs with the same BPM, and then what you're going to do is find a part where there's a lot of beat, a lot of bass, maybe like in the drop, and then set a 4 or 8 bar loop, and then play them together, and then just mix them up so that you could hear what it sounds like when they're not lined up. Now, DJ Pro gives us these lines. You have the yellow line, and then you have these other lines, so you can visually know if they're correct or not. So I would suggest just throwing it somewhere in the middle and playing it, and hear how bad it sounds and what you are looking to not do, and then that'll help you learn how to actually do it. All right, so now that you guys practice and you listen to what you're not supposed to do, this is what it is supposed to sound like. It's very simple. It just sounds like one beat. Now, our brains and ears can only process one beat at a time, so that's why it's super annoying when you get your beat matching wrong, because it's going to give people headaches and it's just going to ruin the whole experience. So let's practice beat matching using just the iPad. Now, I say in most of my videos that when you learn a new DJ trick or technique and you plan on being an iPad DJ, learn how to do it on the iPad first. This way, you don't need to have all that equipment, or if something goes wrong with your equipment, you could just do the transition or do the technique with just your iPad. Later in this video, if you stay to the end, I might show you guys how to do it on the controller, or I'll make a separate video. All right, so I am using a song that I got from Tidal. I just typed in royalty-free EDM, and this one's called Fist Pumping Big Boom Electrum, and it sounds like this. I have my cue point set at 1 minute and 59 seconds, and it has a good beat. So when you're listening to a beat like that, it's kind of natural that you bop your head, or maybe like if you're driving, you'll tap on the steering wheel. So if you're used to doing that, then that is the same thing as beat matching, but instead of bopping your head or tapping the steering wheel or tapping the table, you're going to be tapping the play button or the cue button. So the difference between the play button and the cue button is the cue button, when you let go of it, it stops playing, and then the play button will continue to play. So we're going to have one song playing, so have the left song playing, and then you could use the set and cue buttons, or you could just set a hot cue, and then we're going to try to press the cue button on the beat, just like we're tapping on our steering wheel, like this. So just like that, and then you could practice getting it perfect, but obviously you're not going to get it perfect every time. It's kind of like the game at the arcade where you're trying to stop the spinner on the line. It is a game of pressing the button at the right time, but then there are also other things we can do to correct it. Now, if you're using a controller for CDJs or even turntables, you'll be able to move the platter. Most controllers, the side of the platter will make the song go faster, and if you move it back, it'll make it go slower. And then there are also, the same thing can be done in DJ Pro AI by pressing these plus and minus buttons right next to the BPM slider. So plus is going to slightly speed up the song, minus is going to slightly slow down the song. So if you guys missed it, let me give you an example of me missing it. big waveforms. So if you set it in classic mode like this, now we can't see our waveforms. So that's a good practice for DJing on software where you're not going to be able to see the waveform or hardware. So let's just start it up again. So it's a little bit off. And now check our waveforms and see how the waveforms are lined up now. And then we did our beat match. And of course, when you're doing this live in a DJ set, you could have your headphones on and only have one track playing. And then you do this in your headphones, and then you wait until it's good. And then when it is good, you could either slide the crossfader or slide the volume fader and then bring the song back in. Another way, another kind of like cheat code, or kind of the way that I learned was, if you're using EDM songs that have a drop, then you could just start the next song at the drop. So over here, it's going to be a drop. So that's our drop over there. So now we're just going to play, let's see what the beginning of the song sounds. Now we'll get a better part of it. We'll go to like a double drop. So we'll just get this drop over here. So now wait for the drop to come. Hold on. And now you see we're off. So another good way that you could adjust this is by just tapping on these spinning platters. So it's off. So you can tap on each one to slow it down and speed it up. It could be kind of hard using these plus and minus buttons when you're just using the iPad. So when I do it, I find myself just tapping the job wheels or the records. I find this to help a lot. So let me know in the comments if this helped you practice learning how to beat match. Let me know how you learned how to beat match. And if you have any specific questions about DJing with the iPad or DJ Pro, or anything about DJing in particular, let me know and I'll try to get back to the comments as soon as possible. And if you found value in this video, subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Thank you.